In this section we'll be talking about installer menu 4 keypad definitions and installer menu 5 zone definitions. To enter the installer program mode, we will press the Alt key, then we'll go to menu 9, which is installation programming, and hit the right arrow key as indicated. Then enter the installer program code. The default code is 172839. And now we will use the up arrow to go up to menu 4. And as I said earlier, you can also type in 04 and it will go to the keypad definitions. As indicated, we'll now hit the right arrow key. And this menu says that we're at keypad 1, and we can select the keypads by using the up and down arrow, or we can program by using the right arrow. So we'll press the right arrow to enter keypad 1 programming. The first option here is asking for what area this keypad will be assigned to. In this case, we're assigned to area 1. If we move the cursor under the 1, we can type in other areas that this keypad can be used in, but we'll move it back to area 1. And I'll either hit the Alt key to move the cursor back over 1, or I can hit the left key. That'll move the cursor back to the selection here. Next option is silent on entry. What this means is during the entry delay time, this keypad will be silent or making no entry tones. We'll move up to the next option, is silent on exit. So during the exit time, the keypad will be making no exit tones. If we'd like to change this option, we move the cursor under the no in this case, and a 1 will change it to a yes, a 0 will change it to a no, or any digit 2 through 9 will toggle the selection. I'll leave it no, move the cursor back under the selector here, and we'll go to the next option. In this case, the keypad will be silent on chime if the answer is yes, but in this case it's no. So whenever a zone violates and the M1 sends out a chime signal, the keypad will enunciate with a chime. Our next option is go dark in 60 seconds. 60 seconds after arming, if this selection is a yes, all the backlight LEDs and the arm indicator will turn off. The LCD display will still be showing its state, but there will be no backlight. Go to the next option here, is show date and time. If this is selected to be yes, then the date and time will show on the bottom line of the LCD screen. The next selection is show temperature. If this is a yes, then the bottom line of the LCD screen will show the keypad temperature. Each LCD keypad has a temperature sensor built in. If you're showing say the date and time and temperature, they will scroll one displaying then the next. Next option is the area name. And the area name might be the Jones's house or ABC store or whatever name you'd like to give to the area that this keypad is protecting. And in this case we have it selected as a yes, so the area name will be displayed on the bottom line of the LCD screen. Next option is the bypass key requires a pin code. So what this means, if we ever press the bypass key to bypass any zone, we'll have to enter a user code, an authorized user code that can bypass before the bypass before you can bypass a zone. The next option is the function key 1 definitions. That's the function key on the lower left corner here. Now it's indicated a right arrow, so we'll enter into that, and this brings up another sub menu. In this case, F1 or function key 1 events. Now the events are the same codes that are used by the zone definitions, and the tasks may also be entered here, which start at task number 2000. You can see those in Appendix A of the installation manual. Right now, a function key event 0010 is a fire alarm. If we move the use the right arrow here to move over, and we can scroll up through the various alarm types that we can program this key for. I'll move back to the fire alarm. Okay, and I want to move the cursor away from this setting, so I'll hit the Alt key just to move it back, so we can now advance with the up arrow. The next setting here is the F1 key light. What that means, the light behind the F key can be illuminated, and we illuminate it by referencing events which are listed in Appendix A. If we move the cursor under this by hitting the right arrow, we can now step up through the various events that we can program that light to turn on for, and there are literally hundreds of them that we could select here. But right now, being the F1 key is a fire alarm, we'll turn on this light with whenever a fire alarm activates with event number 1001. And I will back up, so we'll go to the next option. Now, sometimes we would like to turn on the backlight when the event is off, and we can invert the light event here. If we want to turn on the light when the event has been turned off, then we'd answer yes to this. An example would be perhaps a garage overhead door that we would like to turn on the light when the door is closed. Our next option is to blink the light. If we answer yes to this this option here, then the light will blink when it's active. And we'll go to the next option, and the key requires a pin code. In other words, when I press the F1 key, I'll also have to enter a pin code before it will activate the alarm. Go to the next option. Single key press. The default state of the function keys is 2 key presses or hold the key for the alarm to activate. If I have this programmed to a yes, then a single press of the F1 key will activate the output here. Go to the next option, and this is the name that is associated with the F key. In this case, it is programmed for F1 equals 5. This will be displayed on the screen whenever we press the F1 key. The name pops up on the LCD screen here. And this name is programmed the same way that we programmed the other names in the other items. So if we go up to our next option here, it brings us back to the list. That was the last of the F1 key options. And then we can move up to the F2 key definition, which is programmed exactly the same as we have programmed the others. And then F3, F4 key, F5 key, and F6 key. F5 and F6 is up here on the keypad. They're all programmed exactly the same. And move to our next option, which is the keypad name. And here again it is programmed like the other keypad names. This allows us to title the name of the keypad, especially for the ELK RP programming. It's good to have a name for the keypad, like where it's located, the bedroom keypad or the kitchen keypad or whatever, to identify the keypad when we're programming it. And we go to the next option, and that brings us back to the top of the keypad programming here. So we'll hit the ELK key to back out of this level, and from this level we can select other keypads, and we'll just stay at keypad 1 and back up another level by hitting the ELK key, and we're back to the main menu here. So we'll move up to the next option in this case, which is zone definitions. This is where we define what the inputs do that are connected to the M1 under zone definitions. If I hit the right arrow key, we'll enter into the selection of which zone in the system. Here we'll start with zone 1, and we can use the up and down arrow to move to different zones in the system. The right arrow key puts us into programming for this zone, or zone 1. So now the first selection here under zone definition programming is the definition itself, DEF, and this current definition is a value of 1, which is spelled out below here: burglar entry 1 or exit 1 also. Now these definitions are under the menu 5 zone definitions in the installer manual at or about page 30. Currently there are 34 zone definitions to choose from. So I'm going to move the cursor over under the definition selection here by hitting the right arrow key. Now we can scroll up. As you see on the bottom line here, it's telling us what the zone definitions are according to the number here. Got fire alarm, fire verified, fire supervisory, aux alarms, key fob. This is normally used if you have a wireless key fob. A non-alarm, this is a zone that does nothing. It's used by the rules engine for a like a closet light zone, that you don't want to activate alarm, you just want it to activate a rule. And you got carbon monoxide. These emergency or 24-hour alarms here, the reason there's so many of them because they report to the central station by alarm type. Water alarm, this is a key momentary. In other words, a momentary closure will arm and disarm the security system. Key momentary, it'll arm to the away mode or disarm. This is a key momentary arm to the stay mode. Key momentary disarm only. A key on off, so if you turn the key switch it arms it, then you turn it back and it'll disarm it. This is a zone input that when it is activated or violated, it will mute all the audibles. This is good for audio listening using third-party audio listening equipment where you want to mute the sirens. Power supervisory, if you have a remote power supply powering the system and you